Hi everyone, my name is Emeric, and I have decided to take part in the akash Deploy UI challenge. Why? Because when I read the description of the challenge, I immediately thought of deploying Visual Studio Code extension to do this. So why is that? I'm working a lot with the Neo blockchain, and as a developer, I'm using Visual Studio Code a lot, like most developers. And on the Neo blockchain, they provide an extension for Visual Studio here that when you click it, you can have a lot of interaction with the Neo blockchain directly from Visual Studio, and it's really great. Here you can see the networks, you can deploy a contract on the network, you can open a visualizer of the blocks. You can access your wallet, you can access your smart contract, you can create a workspace with pre-configured files for deployment. So it's a really great tool for developers to work with. And for Akash, I thought of developing the same thing. So of course it's only a proof of concept right now, so there isn't as much tools as for the Neo blockchain. But let me show you what it looks like. So to install it, go in your extension. The extension is not yet available on the Microsoft Store, so right now you have to install it manually. Click the three dots here and click Install from VSIX. Then go inside the folder of this submission on the GitHub repository and select here the akash VS Code basics extension. Click install. And here we are. It's installed. Now, how to use it? First, let's start with creating a workspace. So here, click Open Folder. And then create new folder. For example, let's call it Test. Create it, open, okay, and there we are. So now to launch the extension, you're gonna have to open the command window. So for this, on Mac, you have to press Command, Maj, and P, and it will open the Visual Studio command prompt. And here you're gonna enter Getting Started. And here you have something called Welcome Open Getting Started page. I've coded the extension as a getting started walkthrough kind of extension, so that's why it's going to appear here. And here you have a few options, and you're going to click on the deploy on akash. Okay, so the first thing that you can see is here we have a list of steps that we are going to go through to deploy on akash. And for each step, you have here the corresponding markdown file that I took from the official documentation of akash for each step. So here it's going to explain how to install akash. And here I've coded a little button that's going to check that your version of akash is running. So let's click it. And it's going to open a terminal in Visual Studio. And you can see here that I do have the version of akash here. And this step is now checked. So right now, the way the steps are checked is only that when you click a button, it's going to check the step because I haven't had time to go further. But for further versions, maybe if I get a grant, I could code the check to actually check something on the terminal before it's getting checked or not. So now the next step is to create a wallet. So here, when we click the create account, we can see that the markdown here is updating to the next step. So I have already created a wallet, so I'm going just to click check wallet. And it's going to check if I have a wallet named my wallet. Right now, this button is static. I cannot change the name of my wallet, but again, for future version, I could implement an input here to check on a specific wallet name. So right now, it's checking that I have a wallet called my wallet, and we can see here that it is the case. and it's going to show to export the akash key name and show me the public key of my wallet. Next, we're clicking connect to the network. So again, here we have the description of what's happening. And here we're going to click connect now. And it's going to trigger all the necessary steps to connect to the akash network. And here we can see the command prompt that shows me the akash node, chain ID, and keyring backend. Next, fund my account. So here everything is explained how to fund the account. And I'm going to click check my balance. And I can see here that I do have some money on my balance, so it's all good. I can go on. Next step is to create a configuration. So I'm going to click create configuration, and here you can see that it's creating a deploy.yaml file directly inside my workspace, which is pretty great. So here I can check on it, see that everything is as it should. And we are also filling automatically the public key of the user from the previous steps inside this file automatically, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so here we are. Next step, create a certificate. So right now I can't see anything here because I have to go up a little bit to see the description part. So if you don't see anything, just scroll up. And I'm going to create a certificate. It's telling me that I already have a certificate because I did do a tryout beforehand. So I'm going just to check on it. Yes. Yes. Okay. All good. Perfect. Next, I'm going to create a deployment. So once again, I just have to click a button. So it's really easy for developers to just go through all that. So the next step is a little more difficult because I have to set my DSEQ. So I have to find it inside the command prompt right there. So here it is. Once again, I haven't had time to really dig into the command instruction of the Visual Studio extension, but I know there are ways to get that output and automatically get that value and then set it automatically. So I will definitely work on that later. So right now, when I click set DSAQ, it's exporting a chaque DSAQ with change this. So I say right now, as it is, you have to do it manually. So I'm going to just go back to the previous command, remove this, go get my DSEQ right there, paste it, and here we are. And then there is another button here to set the OSEQ and the GSEQ. So these are set to 1, so we can do it automatically. So there we are. So the next step is to view my bids right here. And so far I don't have any bids of course. So I will try to record a second video to show you the next steps once I get some more bids. But obviously the next step is to choose a bid. So right now this is a step that you have to do manually by changing this here with the proper value. Once again, I will try to automate this process in further developments. And then once you have set up your bid, you can go on to create a lease, check the lease. This is using the commands here to create and check the lease. Then you can send a manifest and get the URL of your deployment. And finally, you can also view your logs using a command that is pre-configured as well in this button. So that's it. I hope you like this submission. I know that for me as a developer, it's really a great pleasure to be able to do everything from Visual Studio Code because you have all your code there, and it's always a pain to have to go to a third-party website to make the deployment or to go to the command prompt and do this manually. So getting as much help as we can inside Visual Studio Code directly is always very great for developers. And I think akash should go into this path as well. So thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Bye.